Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's AEW Dark from August 10th, 2022, recorded August 5th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. As well as usual, I'll highlight this week's episode of AEW with RJ City, and we'll do that first. Whose guest this week is the Acclaimed. So this should be pretty interesting. Um, Bowens looks pretty happy here, but Max Caster doesn't really want to be here. RJ brings up everybody loves Raymond as well as everybody loves the Acclaimed. They talk about that for a little bit. Then Bowens said that he doesn't do. RJ brings up that Anthony Bowens really doesn't add anything musically for the act, which is pretty funny. Max then says the scissoring to him means tongue jacking the ladies, which is interesting. Bowens says it just represents friendship. Then RJ says that rap and wrestling has always almost been bad. Kind of a shot at John Cena there. Max says he just does it to avoid buying studio time. This isn't a bad episode of AEW, but it's not one of the best either. The chemistry wasn't quite there, especially after last week with the awesome chemistry with William Regal. So let's get into this week's episode of AEW Dark. As usual, when there's a live episode of Rampage, we get on that week Dark recorded before there in a big arena. So no stale Universal Studios this week on AEW. We've got live, or I mean, taped before the live Rampage in Grand Rapids, Michigan episode of AEW Dark here in an arena. So the first thing that we see when the episode starts is Private Party coming out, and the fans really don't know how to react to Marq Quen and Isiah Kassidy. Are they heel or face? The crowd kind of just goes silent. They don't even boo. They don't cheer. They're kind of unclear. And I think they're a face actually. That they're just trapped in the heel Andrade family office stable, unable to do anything for themselves, kind of just like when Wardlow was under control of MJF. So Private Party coming to this match with a record of 30-21 as a tag team, and you can find out all their current stories on BTE, which I also review alongside Elevation every Monday. So there's 4 guys in the ring when Private Party get there. So now the Butcher and the Blade also come out. So these 4 all are part of the Andrade family office and have been friendly with each other alongside Angelico, who's also just kind of vibing in his own little world, part of the Andrade family office. But the Butcher and the Blade, unlike Private Party, are clear heels. They have no problem with just being mercenaries without a mind of their own. They come into tonight with a 25-13 tag record. So the AFO's opponents tonight are going to be the ragtag crew of Isiah Broner, who's from Detroit and had 1 match in AEW at the Detroit event on Elevation, losing to the Best Friends in a tag match. It's an easy 2-hour drive from Detroit to Grand Rapids where they are tonight. I've made it quite a few times myself, being from Detroit. So James Alexander is Isiah Broner's one of his partners. James Alexander, also from Michigan, and was also at that Detroit show on Elevation, losing to Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh alongside Ren Jones, who we saw get destroyed on Dynamite by Powerhouse Hobbs. So James Alexander's last match he had was against Alex Shelley in an indie show here in Detroit. So one of their partners is going to be straight brazy Brayden Lee, a 2-time IWA Mid-South Junior Heavyweight Champion. He's from Indiana, which is a pretty close drive to Grand Rapids. And finally, rounding out this ragtag foursome is Sam Moore, who I couldn't find any more information about, but he seems to have some kind of hurricane gimmick going. No mask or green hair, though. Uh, the Blade and Isiah Broner are going to start this match with the Blade being in control. Butcher tags in, then they double team the big man Broner here. Now James Alexander tags in, showing some good agility to evade some strikes, but then the Butcher throws him high in the air, crashing James hard into the mat. Marq Quen now tags in. He hits a top rope missile dropkick here, and now Sam Moore tags in. He applies the side headlock on Marq Quen, who gets out while Isiah hits a blind tag, and they hit a nice slingshot move here, double team from the apron with a drop kick in midair. That was really nice. Private Party then dance around here, but straight brazy Brayden Lee shoves both Private Party members here, sending Isiah crashing out of the ring. Brayden now tries to throw Marq in the Isiah, but they counter with a nice double team. That's a kick and a Hurricane Rana Poison Rana combo. Actually, that looks great. So Isiah now hits a A moonsault on the Sam, who's still the legal man, and Butcher and the Blade now both tag in. They hit a double team by the lake powerbomb neckbreaker combo for the 1-2-3. So the winners of this match by pinfall, AFO. There was some great double teams in that match, and hopefully they can flesh out the story of Private Party a little bit more on TV, because the fans absolutely don't know if they should cheer or boo Private Party at this point, which is understandable. For the next match, we've got Anna JAS coming out, accompanied by Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ange, and Daniel Garcia. Anna comes into this match with a 2022 record of 24-3. The 3 losses were to Serena Deeb and twice for the TBS title against Jade. So Anna JAS is coming in off of a huge rebound win after her loss to Serena Deeb. She joined JAS and then beat Ruby Soho 2 weeks ago on Rampage. Her opponent already in the ring is Megan Meyers, who made the trip along with the rest of the AEW talent from Columbus to Grand Rapids here, as we saw Megan wrestle on Elevation tape before Dynamite just last night. So losing a tag match against Ruby Soho and Sky Blue, where Ruby and Sky said that they're coming for TJ soon. So that's interesting, because Ruby and Sky's opponent in that match is now in the ring tonight against Anna JAS herself. So Megan Meyers also lost to Anna J at that Detroit event. A lot of people were at this event also. 2 different Michigan cities here, Detroit and Grand Rapids. So a lot of people were at both of those events. Megan Meyers at that event lost a tag match to Ruby and Thunder Rosa in January, bringing her total AEW record to 0-3. So Megan Meyers is billed from Salem, Massachusetts, and kind of has a witch gimmick, but it might be a real life gimmick. I do know there's a lot of women out there that practice Wiccan. So then Anna starts the match here with a knee to the gut, showing a ton of aggression here, hitting big strikes on Megan. Then stomps her and hits her with that bad looking rolling kick that Anna J does. It always looks bad. It's not botched. It's just a bad move. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Definitely take that one out of your arsenal. But Megan then counters and hits a forearm and cartwheels out of an attack, hitting a running forearm here. But Anna turns it around, applying the Queen Slayer and forcing Megan Meyers to tap out. The winner of this match by submission, Anna JAS. And I keep saying it on these Elevation and Dark reviews with these young women like Anna J and Julia Hart. They're never going to improve with these short matches where they don't take any bumps. They hit the same moves every time. So hopefully this can start the change. I'm not saying have them go out there in 8-minute matches, but 4 minutes with some bumping and selling might be at least getting them to improve, other than these 1.5, 2-minute matches where they don't take any bumps. Maybe they take one, they have no selling, and they hit the same moves every time. I say that because they're just like young and learning still. So it would be okay if you're kind of already in your prime and you want to go out there, showcase your moves for the crowd, and it's kind of a throwaway match. But with these younger people on the roster, I'll include some of the men as well. It shouldn't just be these short matches. They should be working matches where they take bumps and stuff like that. So hopefully that can improve, because Anna JS really has not improved that much. She's got that great record I told you about. It was like 24-3 in 2022, but Anna J really hasn't improved in the ring whatsoever. She's still super young at about 23 or 24, so I'm not saying it all come together right now. There is time to grow, but how are you ever going to grow with these 1.5, 2-minute matches? Also, the JAS intro is on Anna J's music, but it's still her old music that has the Join Us chants in it. So, I mean, it could work for Join the JAS too, but it's definitely a Dark Order thing. So they're definitely going to have to update that for Anna soon. So for the third match out of 9 tonight we've got on Dark is the Best Friends coming out, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, which means they were in the building but chose not to help Wardlow after Wardlow helped them out before. And remember, Wardlow needed a little bit of help on Rampage, which was in the same building. So Wardlow helped them out, but no help for Wardlow. I see how it is. So Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta come into this match with a tag record of 30-12. Really good record for the Best Friends. And they're actually accompanied by Danhausen. So the Best Friends take on former X Division champion Rohit Raju and Ren Jones, who also made the trip from Columbus to Grand Rapids with the rest of the talent. Ren Jones got absolutely destroyed by Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite. Ren Jones is also from Michigan and comes into this match with a 0-6 record in AEW. Rohit Raju is 3-3 in AEW, picking up wins on Dark against Adam Priest, Baron Black, and Invictus Cash, all within the last 3 months. So Rohit Raju is 42 years old, even though he looks a lot younger, and he held on to the X Division, Impact X Division title for over 100 days in 2020. So Trent is going to start this match with Rohit Raju, who gets Trent down here, but Trent takes him right back down after that. They get mad at each other here, talking some trash, start a striking exchange. Rohit shows some quickness, but but Trent's able to hit a gutbuster here, followed by another gutbuster and a lariat. So now Ren Jones tags in. He gets punches right away, gets hit with that and chopped. Chuck now tags in, and they hit a double shoulder tackle on Ren Jones, who's had a bad week here in AEW. Rohit tries to run in, but the best friends hit a soul food half-and-half suplex, crushing Rohit Raju. Now Ren interrupts the best friend's hug, hitting a lariat on Trent. Ren Jones now tries to attack Trent, but Chuck comes from behind, lifting Ren up with a crucifix powerbomb position, but instead of throwing forward, he throws Ren backwards right into a sit-down powerbomb from Trent. Holy crap, that was nice. Great double team there. Rohit Raju now attacks Trent and goes after Chuck, but Danhausen tries to curse Rohit here, but does distract him here for Trent to hit a giant spear outside of the ring on Raju. So Ren is now able to leapfrog over an attack from Chuck, but a blind tag from Trent is able to surprise Ren with a psycho knee out of nowhere. So Ren now gets hit with a spike strong 0. You could count to 100, but the referee counts to 3, and the winners of this match by pinfall, Best Friends. Really bad week for Ren Jones, getting absolutely destroyed. So Best Friends definitely showing that there's got some of the best double teams in the business in this match, just reminding everyone that the Best Friends are a great tag team. Great stuff here. After the match now, Rohit Raju's arguing with the Best Friends about something. Then Danhausen comes from behind Raju, curses him, followed by chopping him to the yam bag, and then the segment ends. So that was interesting. But yeah, this is definitely a benefit of having a Dark recorded before a live Rampage in front of an arena and stuff. We get a lot more extra stuff like that. And speaking of extra stuff, now Andrade El Idolo comes out for an interview with Tony Schiavone on the entrance ramp. Andrade is joined by Rush and Jose the assistant, my bad. And then Tony says, tomorrow night, you'll take on the Lucha Brothers on Dynamite in a tornado tag Lucha Rules match, and that it will be the first time in 7 years that Andrade will team with Rush in a match. So Rush now interrupts and says, don't forget, Los Faction Ingobernables, and then the best faction in the world. Remember that. So Tony Schiavone then asks Andrade, why would they try to take the mask off the Lucha Brothers? And Andrade says, because we don't respect the mask. We don't need the mask. We are handsome Mexicans. We don't respect anybody in the locker room, the office, or in the crowd. But Tony, I respect you. Do you know why? Because I like this earring. Because Tony Schiavone has like sparkling diamond earrings. Anyway, Rush now says, everybody listen, I didn't come to play. I came to destroy every single wrestler in this company, except you, my brother. On Dynamite, we will beat the Lucha Brothers, and all the people will know who Los Faction Ingobernables is. So then they leave, and Rush accidentally steps on his sunglasses that were on the floor by accident. He picks them up and puts them on after, but that was really funny that he almost broke his expensive sunglasses here. But pretty good promo. I like the idea of Ingobernables being in AEW. Definitely sign me up for that. Hopefully Naito can come visit them at some point. That would be awesome. So, or anybody really, Shingo, Bushi, whoever. So out next is the Wingmans, JD Drake and Pretty Peter Avalon for tag team action here. They have a tag record in AEW of 0-1, losing the Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta on Dark back in January. Recently, Peter Avalon's been teaming up with Ryan Nemeth of the Wingmen as well, but they weren't having much luck lately, so probably a good idea to switch it up here with the powerhouse JD Drake, who's had a few good matches lately, but hasn't found any luck either, losing to Dante Martin and Konosuke Takeshita in the last month. No other Wingmen members are out there with them. And out next is Dark Order's Evil Uno and 10, who are the number 3 ranked tag team in AEW with a 6-0 record. All in the last few months here, they lost after losing their regular partners Stu Grayson and Alan Angels, respectively. But now those plans for the tag gold have been put on hold as the Dark Order prepares to enter all 4 members as a foursome trio in the trios tournament. We'll see how that works out, and which that tournament's about to start. So hopefully 10 and Uno aren't looking past this match here. Otherwise, they might lose and drop out of the rankings just as they were about to take a break and enter the trios division. So the Wingmen here attack the Dark Order before the bell even rings to take control early. JD Drake and Evil Uno are going to start the match, but Pretty Peter Avalon tags in right away here. Uno hasn't recovered from the sneak attack yet, so Peter wears him down and then tags in JD Drake. Uno tries to fight out of the corner here, but Drake was too strong, who also had a little bit of Peter's help on the outside. JD now hits an elbow strike, and Uno fires off some strikes, but JD evades one, hitting a big DDT for a 2 count. JD's now paintbrushing the head of Uno as the crowd chants, "We want 10" for the hometown hero 10, whose hometown is about an hour or 2 away from Grand Rapids here in Michigan. Peter now tags in and he hits a big splash at the top rope on Uno here, almost winning the match before the hometown hero 10 could even get in. So Peter now hits a running elbow strike, but JD follows with a cannonball senton. Uno's able to counter the next double team move here and tags in 10, who gets a huge hometown cheer from the hometown crowd. 10 then comes in and hits a huge delayed vertical suplex on Peter, who then ducks under a punch from 10 then ducks under a punch from JD Drake, hitting a side slam. Peter now gets hit with a spine buster from 10 as JD attacks 10 from behind. Uno then sends both Wingmen crashing into each other, and Uno super kicks JD Drake as 10 now lifts up Peter for a Casadora neckbreaker, assisted by Uno here to make it a double team across the ropes into a German suplex from 10. Awesome double team there. Uno now hits a senton on JD Drake on the outside as 10 hits a rolling elbow strike on Peter for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Dark Order. Really, really good match here. 10 and Uno also have some great double team moves, as especially for not being a team for a long time. They're able to do some stuff. I know Uno's a very big time tag team veteran, but Stu, as strong as he was, 10 is even stronger, so they can do some double teams that Stu Grayson wasn't even able to do. That's a huge win for Dark Order here. They should safely be able to stay in the top 5 while they go take a break now and go for Trios Gold. Meanwhile, another loss here for the Wingmen. That pairing was indeed better than the Peter and Ryan Nemeth pairing, but they did mention within this match that JD Drake's tag partner in the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry, and the Workhorsemen as a byproduct are associate members of the Wingmen. So maybe they should try that pairing next, because it's just not working out. While maybe Peter and Ryan can work on getting the beast, Cesar Bononi, who's the other Wingman, ready for his breakout. He's very inexperienced, got a great look, big body, and if they can continue to make him better, the Wingmen might finally start picking up some wins if they can get Cesar Bononi going. It might save their careers. So out next is the tag team of Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir, and they definitely need a tag team name because they've been teaming so often. So they're accompanied by Vicky Guerrero, and Nyla and Marina have a tag record of 3-1. Their only loss coming the Thunderstorm on Dynamite last month, while picking up the other 3 wins all on Elevation. So nobody on Elevation has even come close to beating this monster tag team. They've got the size and power of Nyla Rose with the judo and MMA background of Marina Shafir. Indeed, it's been a nasty combo. Their opponents tonight will be Heather Reckless and Jocelyn Navarro, making their tag team debut. Heather Reckless is 0-8 in AEW, while Navarro is 0-1, losing a tag match against Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa, where Navarro's partner that night was Megan Meyers, who we saw earlier in this episode, lose to Anna J.E.S. So Nyla and Marina now attack them from behind while they're doing their introductions before the bell rings. But now the bell rings and Nyla takes both out with a combo move, like neck breaker, making the other one DDT the other person. Nyla now takes Navarro to the outside, sending her hard into the barricade, while Marina slams Heather Reckless hard into the mat. Nyla now tags in. They hit a double team with a kick and spinebuster combo for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. And I'm definitely not upset by the short match here, as I am with like the youngsters I was talking about, Anna Jay and Julia Hart, because of the age thing. It's the whole once you're a little bit more experienced, I don't think like sure, you always want to try and improve, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, man, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but we really need a women's tag team division and tag team title in AEW. Building up this tag team kind of seems a little bit pointless without a tag division. Same could be said about the Thunderstorm tag team they've been building up alongside a couple other teams that are already established, like TJ and I had it just on the tip of my Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So I mean, there is established tag teams. You could set up more. It looks like Ruby Soho and Sky Blue have formed a tag team that's reminiscent of when Ruby was tagging with Liv Morgan. So I mean, there are tag teams in the division, and I really think we should definitely get some tag teams, women's titles. So anyway, right after the match here, so it's not, the segment's not over with yet. Vicky Guerrero gets on the microphone and says, "Well done," and she says that to the ladies, but then talks to the crowd and says, "Everyone pay attention. Stop stuffing your faces, looking at your phones. And what you paid tonight was to see these two ladies in action." Nyla Rose is an example of destruction, and Marina Shafir is called the problem. A problem is defined as a matter or situation that is harmful that needs to be resolved. Marina, I welcome any and all problems. The three of us can create a unique union that will bring endless opportunities. You all will now address the three of us as the beasts of burden. So, wow. Right when I mentioned they need a tag team, the Beast of Burden. It might be the Beast of Burdens. I can't remember if it's that S I wrote down in my notes as a typo or not, but it's either the Beasts. I know it's definitely plural beasts. Beasts of Burden. I think that's like the lyric of the song. I don't think it's burdens. So I think it's Beasts of Burden. But that's all for now. You're excused. Continue, ladies. So then Marina hits a judo throw on Navarro. Nyla hits a short arm clothesline on Navarro as well. Now Marina brings Heather Reckless over to Nyla so that she can powerbomb Heather into Navarro. And then the Beast of Burden leave. And yeah, I wrote it down a second time without the S. So it's for sure Beasts of Burden. And when I had wrote down that earlier that they needed a name, they now just got one. So it's not a great name, but I was a little scared that I was just going to be Problem Beasts, which is way too cheesy. And at least this name sounds like a real name, not just two unrelated nicknames jammed together. So going forward, Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir are the Beasts of Burden. And going back to I definitely think we need a women's tag division. I know some people are going to groan and complain, "Oh, more tag titles." But if you tell me that, then I would ask you, well, then why is there a tag division in the men's division? I'm a firm believer of every division in wrestling should have a singles and a tag. I'm still waiting for the damn X Division tag titles on Impact. It just makes more sense to have a tag title and a singles in the same division. And if you have one, why as in this case, the men's, why not have them all? And then you could say, well, why not have a trios for the ladies as well? Well, why not? I mean, we get trios matches all the time with the ladies. So anyway, More Than a Woman, Chris Statlander comes out next, who's the number 2 ranked woman in the singles division. See what I did there? With the 2022 record of 13-4. Chris Statlander lost in the semifinals to the Owen Hart tournament to Ruby Soho. She also lost to Layla Hirsch on the Revolution buy-in, and then the other 2 losses were in tag matches. Her opponent tonight is Sierra, not to be confused with Sienna, who is Allison Kay, who we saw in the ROH Death Before Dishonor pre-show lose to Willow Nightingale, but this is Sierra, who Justin Roberts actually forgets to announce her name. Sierra's even looked a little bit mad and sad about that. That made me a little bit sad. What the heck, Justin Roberts? How did you forget to announce the Sierra's name here? So anyway, Sierra comes into this match with an AEW record of 0-2. She lost to the Bunny a year ago on Dark, and then a tag team match against Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb that was actually on Rampage in June. Chris Statlander starts the match by getting wrist control, but Sierra is almost as big as Chris Statlander, by the way. Sierra is able to get out, right out, I should say, and take control over Statlander's wrist. Chris flips out of this, showing good agility for her size, and puts on a headlock, or takes down with a nice headlock takeover. Sierra is able to get to her feet, but Chris hits a nice shoulder tackle and a nasty standing senton, hitting all of it. Chris then hits a scoop slam and a standing frog splash that looked nice. Sierra's able to leap over the next head tack, however, slamming Chris into the corner hard. Chris blocks the next move and then hits a nice roundhouse kick, then 2 lariats and a power bomb, or a power slam, I should say. Sierra's showing a lot of toughness by being able to take these big shots and getting up. Sierra now hits 2 back elbows on Chris, but Chris charges right back in with a nasty mafia kick for the 1-2-3. Wow, the winner of this match by pinfall, More Than a Woman, Chris Statlander. Holy crap, there were some big power moves in that match. Sierra, like I said, almost as big as Chris Statlander, did a really good job, not only showing her toughness, but like taking all those moves, making them look really devastating. So Sierra is the perfect woman to have losing on Dark every week, because she looks like she can take any move you want to give her. She'll get up and come back next week for more. So I hope we see more of Sierra going forward. Meanwhile, Chris Statlander, wow, she's just waiting to become a star. She's waiting patiently and just waiting for more TV time and title matches and maybe a big title win finally. So Chris Statlander just ready and ready to be a star. Breakout. So now next one's an interesting one here. So we get our first glimpse of the full Trustbusters trio, who probably might have joined AEW just in time to maybe get added to the trios tournament. So Trust Fund Ari Daivari, formerly known as Arya Daivari, you might know him from 205 Live, the cruiserweight division in WWE. He leads his new stable, the Trustbusters, who is currently Slim J and Parker Boudreaux, who you might know from Harland and NXT 2.0. They're basically just a new version of AFO, Andrade Family Office, where Daivari has bought out he's buying out contracts of wrestlers to add to the stable, and these are the first 2. So it definitely sounds like Ari Daivari isn't done recruiting yet, but he does get a chance here to see his current full trios team together. So Daivari has been on Dark for a few months now, but just recently brought in Slim J and Parker Boudreaux, each picking up wins on Dark over the last few weeks. We saw Parker Boudreaux on Monday on Elevation get a win as well. So wow. Coming out first here, though, Sonny Kiss music hits, and Sonny leads out a trios team here first with Zach Clayton and Xavier Walker. So we have not seen Sonny Kiss for a few months. Sonny has a 2022 record of 6-3. Zach Clayton has an AEW record of 1-11. He actually beat Serpentico, who has about 86 losses on his record. One of them is the Zach Clayton of all people. So that was back in February on Elevation. Zach has actually also lost to Sonny Kiss in the past on Dark. Xavier Walker is making his AEW debut here, another Michigan native on tonight's show. So now the Trustbusters come out, and they look like a ragtag group with 3 completely different gimmicks, kind of just like the AFO. So I'm not quite sure we needed another AFO, which is the offshoot or the rebranding of the Hardy Family Office, HFO. But I'm willing to give this a chance. I like all 3 guys in the group so far. We got the veteran Slim J, who's going to start the match here with Sonny Kiss. Slim gets a takedown here, but Sonny slides under his next attack. Sonny hits a Hurricane Rana, then a handspring elbow in the corner, and Sonny matrix ducks underneath the next attack from Slim. Great stuff here from Sonny Kiss, who now tags out the Zach Clayton, who's got some size on him, much bigger than Slim J here. Zach hits a big slam, tags in Xavier Walker, who's also really tall, but not quite as muscular. Again, Slim's at a disadvantage here, but Slim rakes the eyes to get out of a move and then hits a T. Harris and tags in Ari Daivari. They now hit a double team slice bread number 2 on Walker, but Walker's able to use his size to push away Daivari here, but that makes Parker Boudreaux tag in, who's by far the biggest man in this match, looking like a young Brock Lesnar. Xavier is really tall, though. He is taller than Parker Boudreaux, but giving up a lot of weight here. So Parker comes in hitting a lariat and a back elbow. Then Slim J dives off the rope with a reverse DDT. Right after that, Slim dives to the outside on the Zach Clayton. Parker now hits his finisher, the big side slam, but Daivari wants tagged in, and he goes up to the top rope, hitting the flying carpet splash for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match are the Truth Busters. So wow, this soon. So this is pretty decent match here. I mean, nothing much to write home about, but wow, some stuff happens after. So Sonny Kiss seemingly seems smitten or something about this group, and Daivari goes over to Sonny Kiss, says something, and then wow, I never even thought of that idea, but clearly Daivari has just offered a spot in the Trust Busters, the Sonny Kiss, who seems to not really think it's not that bad of ideas. Sonny Kiss definitely wasn't saying no right away. So the Trust Busters leave the three of them, and we'll have to check in on this story later because Sonny Kiss didn't leave with them, but was definitely mulling over the idea of joining the Trust Busters. So definitely interesting, a little bit out of nowhere, but that offense we saw from Sonny Kiss in that match was awesome. And if this leads to more TV time or at least more matches for Sonny Kiss, I'm all for that. So check back later on that one. Big trios match next in the women's division in the semi-main event of the night, as we've got it. So like I was saying earlier, just add the women's trios titles while you're at it. But out first is a surprise. We got the returning Leva Bates here, or who we all have seen from her being on BTE every single week. We know that Leva Bates has been in the backstage, but this will be her first match since May. So Leva has a 2022 record of 1-2. And then next out is her first partner, Emi Sakura, who just had 2 banger matches in the last 3 weeks, singles matches. First against Toni Storm on Elevation, and then this week on Elevation against Hikaru Shida. Their partner out next is the Professor of Wrestling, the Woman of 1,000 Holds, Serena Deeb. So 2 of the best on the roster right here, and then Leva Bates, who's charismatic. I'm not gonna say she's bad, but we got 2 great women as her partners here, Emi Sakura and Serena Deeb. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. So Serena Deeb looks all business for this match. This will be Serena's first match since losing at Death Before Dishonor, where Mercedes Martinez retained her ROH Women's title. So Ruby Soho now comes out first for their opponents. Ruby got a big tag win last night alongside Sky Blue, and they definitely said they want a piece of TJ. So Hikaru Shida is her first partner coming out next, who just had a banger match against Emi Sakura, her teacher. So Shida has been flying pretty much on a weekly basis back and forth to Japan and America, where she wrestles and over the weekend in Japan. So then their partner is the Fallen Goddess Athena, who also had a great match last night on Elevation with a win over Queen Amanita, where Athena hit one of the hardest hitting shotgun drop kicks I've ever seen. So this should be a really good match here. And Serena Deeb and Ruby Soho are going to start the match. 2 women who have never, ever had a match together in any company ever, never a singles match or a tag match. So this is a really cool moment. And I would love, even before seeing them lock up, I would love to see them in a singles match. And after seeing them have this little bit of lockup here, I really want to see it. So Deeb is able to take Ruby down, applying a headlock, but Ruby shows that she's got good technical skills too, reversing into a headlock of her own. The Professor gets out with the head scissors, and Serena's in control now, evading attacks until and then getting Ruby into a nice hold. That's basically a full Nelson on the mat with her legs, really squeezing Serena squeezing Ruby Soho here. This is a move that we see Naito use in New Japan. Tetsuya Naito. So Ruby's able to turn this into a pin, and this is a reversal that has beaten Naito in the past on this exact reversal, but Deeb is able to get out at 2. Great match so far. These two in a 15-minute match would be awesome. So Ruby now counters the next move with a big forearm followed by a headbutt, but Deeb is able to counter a Destination Unknown attempt with an arm drag. Really good stuff. Really crisp wrestling here. Now Hikaru Shida tags in, and now she's looking for a piece of Serena Deeb after their a long rivalry over the past year. Deeb ended up winning the final battle though in the Philadelphia street fight, so she doesn't want to fight here. Deeb just tags out to Shida's trainer, Emi Sakura, who has now renewed her rivalry over the past few weeks with her student Shida. Emi comes in with some big chops, evades a strike, and then Emi hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. But the student Shida here shows that Emi taught her well, hitting the exact same tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Emi right after. A striking exchange now is won by Shida with an enziguri kick, and Shida tags in Athena. So Emi bites the hand of Athena to escape the next move and then tag in Leva Bates. Now Athena counters Leva's first move with a back body drop right after Athena hits a nasty spinning thrust kick. Another super hard kick in back-to-back nights from Athena. Great stuff. This knocks the wind out of Leva Bates. Athena now hits a lariat. Leva looks really out of it. Athena hits a front suplex, and Leva can't get up. Ruby now tags in, and they hit a Casadora double splash, Casadora splash double team here. Leva's just barely able to kick out somehow. Deeb now on from the apron hyperextends the arm from behind of Ruby Soho, the same arm that was slammed in a door by Ty Conti. So Leva now hits a big arm breaker right after that on that same arm, working over the arm a few more moves now. And Emi now tags in, hitting a nasty hair beal on Ruby, and then a diving crossbody in the corner knocks the wind out of Ruby too now. Serena Deeb now tags in, goes to work on that damaged arm of Ruby, applying a standing octopus hold, but also trying to break the wrist here that Ruby has a cast on. Ruby's able to get out with a back heel trip, and then both women tag out the Shida and Emi. So Shida takes out Emi Sakura and Leva Bates on the apron, both with jumping knee strikes. Shida blocks a strike from Emi, then hits one of her own, dazing Emi here. Shida mounts in the corner for 10 punches, then drop kicks her way out and hits a suplex. Shida now goes to the middle rope, dives off with a Meteora, and Leva Bates is just barely able to break the pin at 2. Basically, it looked like it was a 3, but the ref had to wait for Leva to get there. Not a good look there. Leva now hits a nasty German suplex on Shida. Athena runs in, drop kicks Leva out of the ring, but Deeb now hits Deeb Talks on Athena right after. Ruby now hits Destination Unknown on Deeb, and Emi hits Angel's Wings on Ruby. Wow. So Leva now tags in, and Emi grabs Shida for Leva to hit a super kick. Emi follows that with a spinning flatliner, and Leva makes the cover, but Shida somehow finds the will in her heart to kick out of that move. Leva now goes to get her loaded book from the apron, but Shida blocks the book shot here with her kendo stick. Leva now evades an enziguri kick from Shida, just as the referee rips the book out of Leva's hands now. Leva completely forgets that she's in a match because of this, looking super stupid and fake while waiting for Shida to hit her with a springboard kick. Then Shida knocks her block off with a katana triggered knee strike for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Hikaru Shida, Ruby Soho, and Athena. So Ruby might have got the win here, but her arm is badly damaged in this match right when Ruby and Sky Blue were wanting to challenge KJ. So wow, big stuff there. And now it makes sense why Excalibur was talking about Anthony Henry earlier and the Workhorsemen being associate members of the Wingmen, because Anthony Henry comes out now for the main event, accompanied by Workhorseman teammate JD Drake. Anthony Henry has a 2022 singles record of 0-3, losing to Lee Moriarty, Hook, and Konosuke Takeshita. Also, he lost his other single match last November to Eddie Kingston, and the Workhorsemen are 0-5 as a tag team in AEW, bringing Anthony Henry's total record to 0-9. then the crowd erupts in cheers as Orange Cassidy comes out next, and he will be in the main event tonight against Anthony Henry. Orange Cassidy is 4-3 in singles matches in 2022. One of those wins was against JD Drake on Dark on January, and JD Drake's on the outside for this one. Orange Cassidy's knee, if you haven't seen, was healed by Dr. Danhausen's magic after Jay Lethal damaged the knee on Dynamite this last week. Now the best friends will enter the trios tournament. Chuck, Trent, and Orange will all enter the trios tournament going forward. Orange recently dropped out of the singles top 5 after back-to-back losses against Wardlow and Jay Lethal. Now the match starts with Orange backing out into the corner, trying to put his hands in his pockets, but Henry goes on the attack to block that, hitting a hammer or applying a hammerlock on the arm here does Anthony Henry. Orange tries to go for the pockets again, but Henry again applies a hold on the arm, this time an overhead hold. Henry gets a nice takedown though, but Orange gets up to the ropes again, now putting his hands in his pockets, and then drop kicks Henry out of the ring, nips up and dives out of the ring, all with his hands in his pockets. Orange does his fake kicks to the shin of JD Drake. Meanwhile, Henry gets back in the ring and distracts the referee so that JD Drake can hit one of my favorite moves in his arsenal. JD springs Orange off the ropes from the offside, and then on the rebound, JD punches Orange right in the face. I absolutely love that move from JD Drake. Henry now off of that advantage back in the ring hits a Tiger driver, and Orange is just barely able to kick out at 2, but Henry applies an STF right after that, and Orange is just able to get to the ropes. Henry now kicks the leg out from under Orange, and he hits another stiff kick to the chest. JD Drake's talking trash as Henry hits a massive chop in the corner. Orange is able to flip over the ropes here and tries to hit a tornado DDT, but Henry counters it into a nasty looking brain buster. Orange is just barely able to kick out again. Henry now goes up to the top rope, but Orange rolls underneath him in the corner. Eventually, Henry drop kicks the knee of Orange once they're back on the mat, and Henry hits a penalty kick and a stomp to the Orange's knee. But Orange counters the next move with a stun dog millionaire, followed by kicking JD Drake on the outside, now hitting the tornado DDT on Henry Orange was looking for earlier. JD Drake now up on the apron, eats an Orange punch, and then Orange hits a beach break on Anthony Henry for the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Orange Cassidy. So Anthony Henry looked really good in that match, and we also got to see JD Drake's best moves. So pretty good main event here. Also a great episode of Dark. They always deliver, and they're always great when they're before the live Rampage, so we can get Dark in an arena instead of Universal Studios. I definitely wish AEW could have a live Rampage every week, but I get the logistics are hard for that, especially since they let all their talent take indie bookings, which are mostly on the weekend. Also, you would have to pay double the travel and hotel expenses, also doubling the days that everybody would have to work. But maybe they could do like a soft brand split or something along those lines where half the roster shows up for the Dynamite show and then the other half goes to the Rampage. But still, that would present a problem with the crew, the officials, and all the office people would have to work double days. Plus, Rampage is only an hour right now. So I'm not quite sure how all of that would work. But hopefully we can at least get one live Rampage a month going forward. That's only 12 times a year. That would make 12 of these Darks a year, these really good arena shows. So not only does it make the Rampage show better when we have a live Rampage, but then it makes Dark better. We don't have to be in Universal Studios. So hopefully we can get it to maybe at least a once a month type deal. Again, no Pac All Atlantic title defense this week, but it was not needed with the arena show. We had a lot of accoutrements and extra things along with interviews and all kinds of stuff that we don't normally. We get some of those interviews and stuff on Dark, but it was way more extravagant with the arena show. And hopefully Pac will be back next week with an All Atlantic Dark title defense once we return back to Universal Studios for next week. So it'll be interesting to see how everything goes, and I'm looking forward to it. We've got a big Dynamite coming up this week, Quake by the Lake, with the main event being a big title match between Jon Moxley and Jericho. So I don't know who's going to win that. I assume it's going to be Moxley, but I'm also thinking since they're having that big title match here, maybe CM Punk is going to be ready to return for All Out and he'll fight Moxley, or at least maybe they were hoping for that. I'm not quite sure what we're going to get, but we've also got the potential return of maybe this week Kenny Omega returning. It is in the same building we saw Kenny Omega when he lost to Hangman Page in Minneapolis at the Target Center, the same place that Dynamite Quake by the Lake will be this week. So after the Young Bucks and got turned on by Adam Cole and the Red Dragon last week, we saw Hangman Page come to their rescue, and now we might see the return of Kenny Omega next week, maybe entering them into a trios tournament. The trios tournament, we might even see Kenny Omega wrestle, or at least scheduled to wrestle the following Dynamite. So we've got a lot coming up. Let me see if I can find the entire card because it looks like a really good card on Dynamite. We'll just do a quick preview before I get out of here. And yeah, here's the card. So, of course, we got the main event I talked about for the interim world championship, Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho, with a potential CM Punk return after that. Who knows? We've also got a big match, grudge match, coffin match. Brody King versus the man who brought Brody King into AEW, Darby Allin. Another big grudge match, Texas Tornado Lucha Rules style. The Lucha Brothers, Penta Obscuro and Rey Fenix versus Los Facción Ingobernables, Andrade El Idolo and Rush. We've got a singles match, another grudge match here, former tag partners Aaron Solo and Ricky Starks. And then for some reason, Madison Rayne is getting a TBS title match instead of somebody like an Emi Sakura, which is just ridiculous. So Jade Cargill better destroy Madison Rayne, or I might have to quit watching wrestling if Madison Rayne is the one to beat Jade Cargill's streak. So we've got a lot of other things planned. We've got a lot of other storylines going on, like Christian and Jungle Boy, as well as Team Taz. Powerhouse Hobbs might be looking over that Ricky Starks match. We've also got Hook as the brand new FTW champion. We've got Swerve in Our Glory has to be set up for a tag title. We've also got the return on Dynamite this week of FTR, the ROH, AAA, and IWGP Tag Team Champions. So we got a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a good Dynamite. I'll be here as soon as it ends with a live review as soon as it ends. So check that out. You can also find every single review of every show from G1 on this channel as well. So, and if you missed my Elevation review from last night, I covered both Elevations from last Thursday and on Monday. There was 2 of them. So I'm going to get going. I'll be back, like I said, tonight with the Dynamite review. It looks like a great show. Maybe a Kenny Omega return, maybe a CM Punk return, maybe both. It sounds like it's going to be a big show, but I'm looking forward to seeing FTR as well as all the other matches that are announced. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys tonight. Peace.